Well, Liliesleaf Farm is in a dire financial state and may have to shut down. The heritage site is heavily in debt and some staff have had to take salary cuts while others have not yet received their salaries. And the farm is best known for the raid back in 1963 where a number of ANC leaders were arrested and who later with Nelson Mandela were part of the Rivonia treason trial. So to discuss this even further, we're now joined by historian Mr. Pitika Ntuli. Mr. Ntuli, thank you so much for your time. I think when I saw the reports that this historical site and facility faced closure due to being indebted, it was worrisome because this is almost sort of, an embodiment of South Africa's history. This heritage site cannot afford to close down. What do you think brought us to this point?
I think that there seemed to be almost a very deliberate process and a program to diminish everything that is cultural, that is historical. The Lilies Farm is not one. Remember, we had Fuba, which was produced some of the best theatre in the country. We had Funda Center, where young artists were trained. The place got taken over by military veterans. Everywhere you turn, the Pansy Museum in Durban with priceless, beautiful things, everything seems to be coupling down because in the country we lack imagination, we lack leadership, we lack commitment to the issues of art, the issues of culture, the issues of heritage. All we are very good at is to attack African and colonial monuments, while at the same time we are running down. Lilies Farm is a very, very, very important center for us. At the very height of apartheid, where whiteness was dominant, a farm that brought in black and white people to plan to change that system of very committed people, highly talented people. Their history and their efforts are going to be dwindled out, because there is no art leadership, there is no imagination, there is no interest in heritage.
Mr. Ntuli, when you speak, and you've just reminded us of the many other sites, not just Liliesleaf Farm rather, you also remind me of the Mandela home in Orlando, in Soweto, where, when we read reports that it's also facing financial strain there and potential closure, I couldn't stop but wonder, what is it about our heritage sites where there is financial mismanagement? Why is it that there's always some indebtedness and financial either irregularities and mismanagement when it comes to finances, particularly at these sites? Because they're important. We need them to be sustainable.
Yeah, no, they are. Also, as you are aware, that greed and corruption seems to be, even in itself, sponsored, because it just can't go up like this with people not facing the music, not stepping aside. There is that kind of corruption, and heritage offers a lot of also opportunities for people to siphon the money from the states. But at the same time, these things also go back to the issues of deployment. Because normally when you deploy people out of gratitude, not because they are very competent in doing this. And if they cannot do that job, then they have to get a friend to be a consultant for them, so that they can be able to do the job that they are, which means to say that they're going to take up the money that is meant for projects to pay somebody else to help people to do their jobs.
Sure. I have to let you go in just a moment. But before I do, quite briefly, please, Ntuli, we've heard from the Liliesleaf Farm, founder and trustee, Mr. Walp, saying that they are appealing for contributions to keep the facility going and also just to preserve some of the artifacts. What do you think needs to be done beyond some of these contributions that are being asked?
Yeah, you know what? Also, the other issue that we have not touched is that we have all of these, billionaires here with the money that they have. Those are the people who also should be making those kind of contributions towards, helping this. But ultimately, people are now occupying the NAC offices. we are going to have a situation where people are already beginning to contact international artists who are organizing anti-apartheid things to be anti-South Africa. Right now, on the basis of that kind of a culture, which will be a very dangerous thing, but very useful for the country, for the people to know that what they actually struggled for. Right now, people have struggled for all of these things. There is a founder of Liliesleaf living a miserable life, worried about what is going to happen to the dream that he held, not only for himself, but for the heritage of the country.
We'll leave it there. Thank you so much, Pitika Ntuli, for joining us.